Xbox has claimed that PlayStation have blocked Xbox Gamepass on the PlayStation because they're scared it might hurt their first-party game sales. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about the whole Xbox versus PlayStation lawsuit that is happening right now, and specifically the scrutiny that Xbox is under for purchasing Activision Blizzard by the UK regulators. Let's get into it. I'm Blaze UK. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Let's go. So guys, if you don't know already, Xbox is trying to buy Activision Blizzard, which has a massive, massive catalogue of games in its library, or well, games in its under its umbrella, right? Including, but not limited to, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and loads more games, especially retro games as well. PlayStation is having, or Sony and PlayStation are having a tantrum right now because they're used to having exclusive rights to early content, early access content for Call of Duty, like early access to the beta, early access to DLC, PlayStation exclusive DLC, and they're kind of worried that Xbox might end up making Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox or Xbox and PC platforms, right, and excluding PlayStation altogether. Well, Xbox has reiterated time and time again that that's not the case, and that PlayStation is the majority stakeholder in terms of like the Call of Duty franchise, in terms of like player count. So they know that if they remove Call of Duty from PlayStation platforms, they'll probably lose a lot of money in doing so, and that's not what Xbox wants. Xbox wants to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, but PlayStation isn't happy with that, and they're obviously taking them to court, they're filing lawsuits, and obviously competition regulators around the world are all having a say on this deal, whether it can go through or not. So let's get into the article, let's talk about it. Xbox calls PlayStation too big to fail following UK agencies' criticism of Activision Blizzard deal. Microsoft emphasises its own weaknesses compared to Sony in a lengthy response to UK agencies' report. So basically, what you're going to see in this article is that Microsoft actually dogs on themselves and burns themselves a little bit in terms of saying we're not even that big. Our company is like third in gaming, seventh in cloud streaming, and basically our company sucks when it comes to gaming. PlayStation is so much bigger, and I don't think losing one franchise is going to really hurt PlayStation. Well, that's Xbox's argument, and we're going to get into the article. So let's get into it. So Xbox has developed a novel tactic for defending its Activision Blizzard acquisition, which continues to wind its way through various regulatory bodies around the world. Self-deprecation. In response to claims by concerns raised by the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, Microsoft released a lengthy statement to GamesIndustry.biz calling the criticism unsupported, and pointing to PlayStation's leading place in the market as a reason why. The suggestion that the incumbent market leader, PlayStation, with clear and enduring market power could be foreclosed by the third largest provider as a result of losing access to one title, Call of Duty, is not credible, Microsoft said in a statement. Well, Microsoft didn't share figures. The company says that if every Call of Duty player on PlayStation's console switched to Xbox, the PlayStation gamer base remaining would still be significantly larger than Xbox. Ouch, Xbox. Jeez, get some burn cream on that, man. You're burning yourself. In short, Sony's not vulnerable to a hypothetical foreclosure strategy, and the referral decision incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony, which significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it and neglected to account for Sony's clear ability to competitively respond, Microsoft's statement said. While Sony may not welcome increased competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete. Gamers will ultimately benefit from this increased competition and choice. So I can understand Xbox's point. I think PlayStation, or Sony in particular, are having a little bit of a hissy fit over this. They've had it too good for too long when it comes to Call of Duty specifically and Activision Blizzard, and I understand their concern that Xbox could just take Call of Duty off PlayStation and just keep it as an exclusive. I mean, Xbox players would be so happy with that, right? But ultimately, Microsoft's point is, like, even if they did do that, the player base on PlayStation would still, like, outnumber Xbox's by a large degree. A PlayStation, it would obviously hurt PlayStation, obviously. But Xbox have clear out stated that they have no plans to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation because there's far too many people, like, more people play Call of Duty on PlayStation than any other platform, like combined probably. So besides maybe mobile. So I think it would only hurt Microsoft if they were to do that, and they've said this time and time again to a lot of these regulators and stuff and to lawyers, is that they've got no plans to take it off PlayStation and for years, right? If ever, right? So let's get back into the article. As far as CMA is concerned, the UK's anti-competitive regulation agency, I don't know, concerns about the streaming market, Microsoft says it has no advantage and says Xbox feels it has a number of significant disadvantages in comparison to other competitors because of the relatively limited platform support for Xbox cloud gaming. The company also says that adoption of video game streaming is relatively low. We know why that is, right? Even Google recently just closed down Google Stadia because of this. And I don't think anyone here thinks that cloud gaming is anywhere near replacing dedicated console hardware, right? Anytime soon. But they're obviously all still trying to do it. God knows why. And that undermining the market in any way could only have long-term damaging effects to its own products. Microsoft isn't happy with the UK CMA regulator over its Activision Blizzard acquisition comments. It describes the regulator's concerns as misplaced and that it adopts Sony's complaints without considering the potential harm to consumers. Xbox as a platform, which is in last place in console, 7th place in PC, and nowhere in mobile game distribution globally, has no incentive to do this. Instead, its incentive is to encourage the widespread adoption of cloud gaming technologies by as many providers as possible to encourage the major shift in consumer behavior required for cloud gaming to succeed, the statement read. Microsoft, if you're really hoping cloud gaming is going to succeed, I've got bad news for you. It's not. Nowhere near going to succeed. Because you have to... We've been through this before. For cloud gaming to succeed, there needs to be zero latency when it comes to moving, inputting, putting controller inputs into a game, having it sent to the cloud server, God knows how many miles away, and then have the whole image feed with the inputs sent back to you, literally within milliseconds. We're not there yet, and especially not there on the go with 5G. 5G has been a bit of a bummer lately. They were touting it as the revolutionary new wireless technology, right, that allowed us to do cloud gaming and everything, anywhere, anyhow, right? But it's really not that much better than 4G in my experience in terms of speeds and stuff. But yeah, as noted by The Verge's Tom Warren, Xbox has claimed that Sony has chosen to block Game Pass from PlayStation while protecting its own first-party games. So as we can see here, Xbox claims that Sony has chosen to block Game Pass from PlayStation. Now, this is something I was wondering about, because if Game Pass were to go on PlayStation, Xbox would make a crap ton of money, because people would pay your $10 a month for Xbox Game Pass to access hundreds of games, including but not limited to Xbox's own first-party titles on PlayStation. So the consumer would win out. PlayStation customers would win, but Sony's obviously concerned that it might hurt their own first-party game sales. If a lot of these big AAA games are coming out on Game Pass day one as part of a $10 a month subscription, it might hurt the sales of their big exclusives like God of War, Gran Turismo, you name it. Imagine playing Forza on the PlayStation 5. Throughout its response, Xbox emphasizes that Sony's strength in the market while positioning itself as a weaker competitor, it's all part of a major attempt to influence global opinion on the acquisition, which will add World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, and other major franchises to a stable that already includes the likes of Halo, Fallout, and Skyrim, even going as far as to open a website touting the benefits of the acquisition. That website is here, and it's basically touting their vision for gaming. More choice and more games for people everywhere. And they're basically just promoting the Activision Blizzard deal and how it benefits consumers, right? So Sony, for its part, has slammed the buyout as having major negative implications for gamers while praising the CMA. Xbox could harm the competitiveness of its rivals. Xbox was responding to the CMA's initial report, full text of which was published today. The CMA, so this is the UK's regulation authority, says it fears Microsoft absorbing a third-party company as expansive as Activision Blizzard will be damaging to the PlayStation brand, alongside the possibility of making Activision Blizzard games like Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox and Windows platforms. The CMA points out that having those games exclusively on Microsoft services like Xbox Cloud Gaming could have similar implications for video game streaming platform competitors like Amazon and Nvidia. The CMA is concerned that having full control over this powerful catalogue, especially in light of Microsoft's already strong position in gaming, game consoles, operating systems and cloud infrastructure, could result in Microsoft harming consumers by impairing Microsoft's closest gaming rival ability to compete, as well as that of other existing rivals and potential new entrants who could otherwise bring healthy competition through innovative and multi-game subscriptions and cloud gaming services, the authority wrote in this report. As of writing, Activision Blizzard games have not been made exclusive to Xbox platforms and services, and Microsoft has said that it plans to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation, but the CMA says this may change as Microsoft continues to invest and grow these businesses in the future. The CMA recognises that ABK's, Activision Blizzard's, newest games are not currently available on any subscription service on the day of release, but considers this may change as subscription services continue to grow. After the merger, Microsoft would gain control of this important input and could use it to harm the competitiveness of its rivals, the CMA wrote. The CMA's investigation will continue into January when it will release its second phase of findings. The final report will be complete by March 1st of next year. So let me know in the comments what you think about this whole deal. I know it's been hashed to death at this point. You've got people, PlayStation fans, sort of like, it's unfair, they shouldn't own the Call of Duty franchise, Activision Blizzard as a whole, and then you've got Xbox fans that are kind of just trolling the PlayStation fans, saying, oh, we're going to get Call of Duty as an exclusive, we're not going to have to pay for it because it's going to be on Game Pass, which we have anyway. We're already paying $10 a month for Game Pass, and now we're going to get Call of Duty games for free day one, and you PlayStation peasants are going to have to pay $70 every year when we pay about $70 to $100 for an entire game catalogue every year, including Call of Duty. So the joke's on you, PlayStation fans. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think PlayStation have a point? Do you think they're just having it, or do you think they're having a little bit of a hissy fit over the fact that the Xbox is going to own Call of Duty? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, guys, I'm Blaze2K. I love you and I appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to support any more, keep these news videos coming, and keep the discussion flowing. Please consider clicking join down below for all my exclusive live streams and exclusive content, and you name it. It's just support the channel while you're doing it. Anyways, guys, love you, appreciate it. I'll see you in the next vid. Bye.